Good morning, friends. I am here at Lassen Volcanic National Park, and I'm about to get started on trail for the day. In theory, I'm doing 50K today, but I've been really off of my training because we've been moving and stuff, so I may dial it back to a marathon, depending on how I'm doing on my time and everything. I'd really like to finish in the light, so let's see how I do. Lots of evidence of the 2021 fire that burned, I think it's something like 65% of Lassen. But all these trees are kind of burned, but then they're like bent and twisted from that as well. They're interesting looking, even though obviously we don't want Lassen to be on fire. Here we are getting our first view of Bum Pass Hell. This is really cool actually, and it smells like a gigantic pot of boiled eggs. This is super cool, y'all. The sign back there was explaining that all of this is because there is magma about 3 miles per, almost just said 3 miles per, there is magma about 3 miles below the surface, and the combination of that and a water source and porous rock creates this. Again, the smell is highly sulfuric, but it is really cool to just watch this vapor come shooting out of the ground. Coming back down from Bum Pass Hell, you get a really good view of how much of the park was burned. I know it's not a great time of day and the view is kind of washed out, but man, that's a lot of black sticks out there, and also over here. I just came down this trail from Bum Pass Hill, and I'm here at Cold Boiling Lake. I can't get any closer without soaking my feet, and I'm not going to do that. But here is Cold Boiling Lake. There's the big portion of it over there, but here you can see why it's called that, because it bubbles. Okay, so I'm supposed to be at Mill Creek Falls now. You could see the overlook there, which was actually my destination. However, I got to this bridge, and I guess it got burned out in the fire, and as you can see, it is closed. So I will not be going to the overlook nor seeing the falls. So I don't know, maybe I'll find a prefab picture and put it in here, but I did make it all the way to them. So I used my car as an aid station, which went very well. I reparked it so that the second half of this would be a little bit more accessible. I didn't want to be walking on the road, particularly at the end at night. So I'm here out on the second half of it, and it's unfortunate how much of this is just burnt twigs. In the first half of my trek today, the trail was very unclear in places. It took me much longer to do that part than I expected because of that, and because of the conditions out here where things are just, it's hard to follow. You know, even the trail itself is obfuscated by various forms of fire damage. So I'm gonna have to dial this back to a marathon instead of a 50K, which is fine. So I'm headed out right now to Devil's Kitchen, which was one of the super cool things I wanted to see. And so I'm gonna make it to there and then head straight on back. And if I play my cards right, I think I won't even need a headlamp. Famous last words. Okay, here we are, finally at the Devil's Kitchen. Probably a good thing you can't smell a video. So here I am going up this lovely trail, but just to be clear, I have to climb up that big mountain over there to get back to my car. Okay, after playing around with a continuous glucose monitor over the last year, I know I can't eat sugar most of the time. It's terrible for me. But when I'm out on the trail, I can kind of do whatever I want, and so I'm using it as an opportunity to use a non-traditional trail food for this next climb, which is going to be the hardest one of my return journey. I wasn't sure I'd get here, but Kings Creek Falls. Yay, I made it in the light. All right, so having passed that waterfall, I am well on my way to being finished here. I think I have about a mile or a mile and a half left, something like that. And I'll either finish in the light or like very shortly thereafter. And I have my headlamp ready to go, and I'm feeling pretty good. Here we have the Upper Cascades.